Hello there, welcome once again to Living on Purpose. This is Fola Daniel at Delisi. Today, I want to talk to you about keeping an open mindset. Keep an open mindset. What does it mean to have an open mindset? To have an open mindset means that to keep a flexible view on nearly everything in life. If you have been attending quite a number of conferences or seminars, one of the things that would have happened to you recently is that you would have noticed you have to unlearn certain things that you have learned over the years, and you have to relearn. And most speakers today will tell you that learning, unlearning, and relearning is the key to progressing in life. You can't unlearn, relearn, and unlearn the things that you have already learned years ago if you do not keep an open mindset. The only way to understand that what you learned years ago was only a partial knowledge and to see a bigger perspective today is to understand that you must keep an open mindset. If you do not keep an open mindset, you'll keep arguing with the people who are trying to teach you the real thing, which is probably the most updated knowledge. As a training consultant, I've been in different classes where the students are trying to argue with me despite being obviously wrong. One stands out in my mind particularly. It was a young lady who was arguing about letter writing. I told her quite a number of things, but because she had learned certain things from a previous organization where she worked, she believed that there was a particular way to write letter in business communication. I kept telling her, I've done my research, I'm a training facilitator, this is what I do for a living. Business communication is not something that I stumbled upon. This is how it ought to be done. She argued up to the point where it became embarrassing for her classmates. So the classmates were the ones trying to tell her, why don't you just be quiet and learn something new? There are people like that. Once they see a certain way that something is being done and nobody challenges them, they would believe that that's the only way that thing can be done. Now that's a fixed mindset. Anyone with an open mindset will not do that. When you have an open mindset, one of the beautiful things that you can do or achieve with an open mindset is that you find it easy to flow. You find it easy to communicate with other people. But when you do not have an open mindset, you will not be able to effortlessly communicate with other people. When you have an open mindset, it is easier for you to learn something new from people as soon as you meet them, regardless of what you have always known. You need to understand that what you know can be a perspective to the whole truth. It may not be the whole truth. So if you do not keep an open mindset, you keep walking around with half truth, thinking that you know everything. The best analogy that I've heard over the years for keeping an open mindset has to do with different people touching different parts of an elephant. Somebody said one day people were asked to touch different parts of an elephant and to describe what they felt they were touching, and everyone was describing something different. Of course, we know that the elephant is a huge animal, and because the elephant is a huge animal, whatever part of it you're touching would determine how you are describing the elephant. Here's the point. At the end of each person touching the elephant, they described what they felt they were touching. None of them was wrong, but none of them had the full picture. None of them was wrong, but none of them accurately described the animal. For you to accurately describe the animal, you have to describe the parts that you saw. Allow another person describe the parts that they saw. So if you all put your knowledge together, you would have a broader perspective on what all of you were saying. Now, for a long time, people that saw different parts or touched different parts of the animal were arguing about what they touched. Oh, it's this animal. Oh, it's that animal. Until when they opened their eyes and realized that they were all correct in their own ways. Take, for example, if I say a figure is 6 from where I'm sitting, you may be looking at the same figure and it may be 9 from your own position. Neither of us is wrong and neither of us is correct. From my perspective, I am right if it's 6. From your perspective, you'll be right if you say it's 9. But when we understand that what I am saying is different from what the other person is saying, then it makes sense to always look at things from the perspective of other people. If you do not keep an open mindset, you will not be able to see things from the perspective of other people. When you keep an open mindset, it's always ultimately for your own good. The people who are trying to say something to you or show you a better way things can be done mostly do not have anything to benefit. Even if they have something to benefit, you'd realize that you have more to gain at the end of the day for keeping an open mindset. So it's very important for you to make sure that in everything that you do, you keep an open mindset. Keep an open mindset as you go into a business relationship. Sometimes you would have heard certain things about certain people and those things are not true. But if you don't have an open mindset, you will go into that business relationship with a preconceived notion that is wrong, and you would want to deal with that person on the basis of what you have heard, not knowing that what you heard is probably a lie. Keep an open mindset when you're going into a marital relationship. You want to start dating somebody, keep an open mindset. You want to go into a new organization, keep an open mindset. You want to start a new venture, keep an open mindset. Don't get into the venture with the mindset of what you have heard, what you have known, what you have seen. You're going to learn something new if your mind is open. Some of the things that you will learn will shock you. So you need to keep an open mindset. An open mindset can save you from a lot of troubles. Anyone with a fixed mindset will go head on into trouble, but anyone with an open mindset will say, wait a minute, let us review it. I think there's something for us to learn here, and I have seen what I need to learn. Anyone with an open mindset is also always quick to adjust whenever they find out that what they have always held onto is not the real perspective. So I want to implore you that in whatever you do in life, it's important for you to keep an open mindset. Be flexible. We learn every day. What you know yesterday will be updated tomorrow. There are things you knew 5 years ago. As far as today is concerned, they become outdated. There are things you knew 6 years ago. As far as today is concerned, they become outdated. If you keep teaching what you knew 6, 7 years ago today, then you are teaching an outdated knowledge. It's important to keep an open mindset, because with an open mindset, you would learn, you become better, and you always do something in a better way. So if you have an open mindset, you will also realize that it's easier to relate with other people. In fact, they derive joy in relating with you, because they notice that if they are able to say something to you, you would listen. In corporate organizations, bosses with an open mindset are always better bosses. The same way, employees with open mindset are always better employees. Anybody who wants to lead effectively has to keep an open mindset to lead effectively, because in one dimension you are the leader, and the next minute it's the people that you are leading that are showing you the way. You would never want to learn from them if you do not keep an open mindset. I hope that you keep an open mindset, because it will give you a better outlook in life. Thank you for listening. Please head on to www.youtube.com/Fola Daniel Speaks. Thank you.